Israel. I want to make sure that we're actually moving something forward.
Meanwhile, a recent public opinion poll in the United States revealed that when it comes to voting for president, the candidate's position on Israel is fourth on a list of priorities among American Jews, right behind abortion. IBA's Eli Walgelanter asked president of the Hartman Institute of North America, Yehuda Kurtzer, how he would explain that to Israelis.
I'm surprised that it's fourth and not lower, frankly. And I think what's surprising to American Jews who follow these things as well as Israelis is that with all of the energy and attention that's spent by the American Jewish community talking about Israel and the anxiety around Israel, that it doesn't wind up ranking particularly high in how Americans actually go into the ballot box and vote. I think there's probably two ways to read it. One is to say that American Jews don't really care about Israel, which is kind of the hypothesis behind your question. The second possibility is there actually is and this is a more radical read, that there isn't really daylight between the two candidates when it comes to their Israel policies, and therefore when American Jews go into the ballot box and vote, they don't see it as an issue that's going to wind up swaying their views one way or another, that they see real differences on economic policy, on social policy, including abortion, on all sorts of other big issues, but when it comes to Israel, they're pretty secure that either candidate they're going to vote for is actually going to be a friend of Israel.
Can we not say, in fact, that there are two groups, those who are very interested and those who are disinterested?
That's probably right. And I would say that of the American Jews who care a tremendous amount about Israel, even they, and that goes to the second, it's not abundantly clear that Israel voting for one candidate or another is actually doing a service as an American Jew for Israel. They care a lot about Israel policy, the American administration policy towards Israel. But the truth is, regardless of where you are in the American political spectrum, there's a broad consensus that is pro-Israel, that is supportive of Israel. And even with the various criticisms of President Obama and his politics towards Israel, I think the American Jewish community feels pretty secure on both ends that the candidates that they're voting for are ultimately friends of Israel.
So would you say this is really a Republican attempt to drive a wedge between the American Jewish community and President Obama?
I actually kind of do think that there was a very clear attempt, and I don't think this is actually even a radical view. Last year, the AJC and the ADL, two of the biggest American Jewish organizations and two that have represented a kind of American Jewish consensus for a couple of generations, tried to get the two political parties, the Republican Jewish Committee and the Democratic Jewish Committee, to agree not to make Israel an issue during the presidential campaign, and the Republican Jewish Committee disagreed, said no way. They saw blood, right? They saw an opportunity to actually do something here. So I think it's unquestionably the case that Romney and the Republicans have tried to make this an issue that would sway the Jewish vote. I'm not convinced that it's actually working, except in sectors of the Jewish community where there has already been a drift to the Republican Party, where it has seemed to be a badge of honor, therefore, that they can say that our party is already more pro-Israel than the Democrats.
The polls are showing that President Obama will not receive the same 78% of the American Jewish vote that he received in 2008. If there is no daylight between the president and Israel and the American Jewish community, why are those numbers dropping?
American economy is still in the gutter. I mean, again, you probably have an overwhelming and a large number of American Jews who are Democratic voters, a smaller percentage but still a fixed percentage who are Republican voters, and like every other American population, a good amount of independents or folks who can be swayed one way or another. Obama is a relatively unpopular incumbent dealing with an economy that has not fully recovered, and in the view of some, hasn't been a particularly effective president. So does the fact that he's going to get a lower percentage of the American Jewish vote mean that he's lost the Jewish vote on Jewish issues? That may be part of it. Certainly there are Jews in the American Jewish community who believe that he has botched the Israel issue. I think there are also just a lot of Americans who happen to be Jewish who are shifting from being Obama voters to Romney voters because it's a different reality, and they're voting for a different candidate who they think could be a better president.